As a freelancer, your pricing can make or break your business. Here's how to make sure that your pricing is competitive and also attractive to potential customers. Do your research. That is critical. So often, independent contractors, entrepreneurs, they are so focused on getting the business that they're willing to undercut the price. You can never win market share on a long-term basis by using price. That is a hole that you will never get out of, because once your customer becomes savvy around what the market price really is for your particular service, then all they have to do is say, oh, you're charging me $15? Well, I talked to so-and-so and it's 12. I'd be willing to do this if you give me 12. Well, if 15 is the market, then you should not go to 12, especially if you feel strongly about the quality of your work and what you are delivering. Do your homework. Every product, every service has a market value, just like every seat in any career has a market value. The beauty of where we are today, there is so much transparency in the marketplace that you can find out what the going rate might look like. So let's say you are a freelance photographer. You want to get a sense of what the market price is like? Call a few photography agencies and say, I'm interested in doing A, B, and C. Can you give me a sense about how much you might charge for that? And then you call another one and you say, can you give me a sense around how much you might charge for that? And you call a third one. So now you're going to start to get a sense of what the high and the low is, or you might get it right on the button. 3 phone calls and they might all tell you the same price for that service. So you don't have to start off blind. But again, be careful about discounting your price just to get that first customer. You want to make sure that you can articulate why your product or your service is worth exactly what you're charging. Now, you don't have to break down and say, well, the camera cost me this much. This is how much I need for the batteries. I'm going to need this much for special lighting. You say, here is an example of the quality of my work. I make sure that I have the right equipment, the right lighting. I get a good sense of what it is you're looking for, what kind of vision you have, so that I can deliver that vision. And here, oh, by the way, is a list of 5 people that I've done business with. Now, if you're just starting out and you haven't done business with 5 people, give them an example. If you are a photographer, you need a portfolio of the kinds of things that you can produce. What does it look like if you are shooting outside? What does it look like if you are inside? What does it look like when you're trying to create an effect? But make sure that you can justify why you are worthy of whatever you are pricing. Now, if you are just starting out, I'm not a big fan of having premium pricing unless you can really back it up. But if you're right in the middle of the fairway of understanding what is the going rate for your product, then you can feel comfortable offering that rate. But try your best not to discount. Now, when do you want to think about discounting? If someone is giving you repeat business and it's coming, pretty quickly, one right behind each other. You shot something for them in July. They're asking you to shoot something for them in August. You're doing 3 gigs for them in September. Then maybe in October, you want to think about what else you can add. Is it a special shoot? Is it different kinds of shots? Is it a small discount on what you've done? Because customers appreciate when you recognize and appreciate that they are giving their business to you. But pricing is critical if you are going to be successful as a freelancer. Last thing I'm going to tell you about this is you should understand what your costs are. How much was it for the camera? How much is it for the film? Because once you figure out what your costs are, and there's things like the camera and the light that you amortize over a lot of different projects, because frankly, at the end of the day, it's one camera. But once you think about what it's costing you per shoot, now you want to think about what kind of margins do I want on that. So if my costs are $100 and I think that I deserve a 20% margin on top of that, then you're pricing $120. But again, you want to check that that $120 is consistent with the market pricing for what you are offering. Go get them.